Harpers Ferry Lazy River. Harpers Ferry has whitewater tubing and flatwater tubing. The flatwater tubing is also known as lazy river tubing. There are more restrictive age and pet limitations for whitewater tubing. It is done on the Potomac River. For lazy river tubing, you can bring younger children, and with most, if not all, of the three main tubing outfitters, you can bring pets. This is done on the Shenandoah River. The three tubing outfitters are River and Trail Outfitters, Harpers Ferry Adventure Center, and River Riders. The Harpers Ferry tubing put-in is in Millville, West Virginia, between the dam and Tail Race Park. With its upriver and just even with Tail Race Park, there is the Island, or Party Cove as it is known. At the downriver end of the island, between the island and Bloomery Road, is a rock with some climbing apparatus affixed to it. On the island, just even with the rock, is a steel and aluminum picnic table. The reason the island may be such a sought-after destination is because of the sandbar at the downriver end of it. It provides a comfortable, mostly rockless, and almost currentless area to stand and relax. Other parts of the Lazy River area don't offer this. Most of the rocks are as slippery as ice, with currents that make it tough to stand in the river and relax. One sunny August afternoon, about 5 to 6 deer came crashing across the island towards Bloomery Road. They ran from the island by the rock and swam over to the shore. The larger ones were fast and swam well, but a smaller one began to get swept away in the current. It finally made it to shore as tubers cheered it on.
Oh, this one might need some help. He can get it. Don't get run over.
No, I've never seen this.
Across the river from the outfitters, there are several rental homes. Often you can see people coming down to the river from there. In 2020, when many pools were closed, I saw many children about 100 feet away from their parties. At first, this was concerning to me, but after a while, I got used to it. I didn't see much more of this in subsequent years. Near the end of the Lazy River tubing run, there's a small area where whitewater tubing is done. The water there is clear and cool and comes out of a pipe. Tubing here is fun, but I've been bumped and bruised when I tried it. Every year I see people getting quite painful bumps from the rocks here. This is an area where people gather to enjoy the cool water that comes out of the pipe. Northern water snakes also like the area by this pipe. They are not poisonous. I see them every warm season here. I looked into where this water comes from. Because it's so cold, it probably comes from springs. The water coming out of this pipe is actually called an outfall. The springs are likely in one or all of these adjacent quarry ponds. Back to the lazy river. Almost every weekend in the summer there are birthday parties, bachelorette parties, or bachelor parties on the river. At the end of the lazy river float, you must exit the water on the left at your outfitter. Here are the outfitters as you approach them on your tube. First is River and Trail Outfitters. I like their generous boat ramp. It's quite wide, but if the lot fills up, you may end up parking next to the adjacent railroad. I once parked just 3 to 4 feet from a train. Second is Adventure Center. They have a separate overflow parking by the quarry outfall pipe, so parking is not so much an issue here, but that lot is on the other side of River and Trail Outfitters. Third is River Riders. It is the last chance to get out of the river before less accommodating shores and dangerous rapids. They can take your photo here if you want that. They don't allow parking at this spot. You must park at the resort and take a bus to and from the river. If you don't take out at one of these outfitters, you could end up floating over Bull Falls. Over the years, people have been injured here, some fatally. Lastly, near the tubing put-in there are these signs. I've been coming here for years and I've never heard sirens or noticed rapid river level changes that were concerning. That doesn't mean this danger won't occur. However, once I saw the river drop about 1 foot in 45 minutes. I come here quite often in the summer. The people here are nice and smiling and friendly. I like the beautiful views seen when floating down the river. Even on more crowded days, you can have a rather calm and serene experience. So much so that at times I've briefly fallen asleep, and I've never fallen asleep in public anywhere else. I've seen others briefly fall asleep as well. Happy tubing and have a safe trip.